Okay, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back after a successful outing versus Tottenham Hotspur. Um, I'm going to do my checks as always. Let me just quickly go through these things real quick. Turn that off. Man, the chat is not here again because why would it be? Why would I need the chat? Why would I need the chat every single fucking stream? There we go. Welcome in, welcome in. It's a good result for us today. I have had a pretty good day today as well, which is nice because now this kind of tops it off, and this is a good way to end the game. Yep, we do not lose to Spurs. Death, taxes, and beating Spurs home and away. That's pretty much it. Um, I am going to preface this episode is going to be a bit weird because I missed the entirety of the first half. This is going to sound silly, but I was I was working all this morning and basically all the way through the afternoon, and I decided, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have a nap for an hour, and I slept through my alarm and didn't wake up. And then I woke up half time, and I just rushed to my setup, and I was like, oh, gotta watch the game. Um, I don't want to sit here without the music on for too long, so I'm just gonna hit the intro straight away. So let's go.
Lads, lasses, and the rest of the masses, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mono from Mono CFC, and welcome to Feeling Blue.
Alright, welcome to Feeling Blue, and as I said, we're going to do this a little bit differently. I do have the points that I want to make. I'm not going to limit myself to 7 particularly, because I think there's a lot more things to talk about than 7 in this game. And I think you guys are going to have to pitch in and kind of give your own anecdotal kind of experiences with the first half, because I obviously missed the first half. Obviously, I've heard things about the first half, and I will be talking about things, but they are not from personal viewing. I'm going to have to actually watch the first half back, and obviously when the VOD gets uploaded to the official Chelsea website, I will do that. I'm not actually sure when our next game is. I should check that, really. See how much time I have. Unfortunately, I didn't get to make a tactical breakdown on the Aston Villa game, but I kind of did that in the preview for this game instead, because I felt kind of bad that I hadn't uploaded that. Next game is on Sunday, so I do not have time for that. That's pretty upsetting. But yeah, I think we have a lot of big gap between the West Ham game and the next game. But Chelsea have now moved up into 8th place with this victory over Spurs. And yeah, now someone asked me just now. I just seen someone's added me and said, "Do you think we can make it to Europe?" I genuinely do believe we can. The issue is, and the thing I fear is that Poch is going to have this success with this system and then change it. I think hopefully he will not do this. And in fact, let's just get straight into one of the points. Let's go straight into the points, right? Because one of the people I want to talk about is Pochettino. I think that he set us up to win today, and that's basically all that you can ask from him. He gave opportunities to players that I have been asking to get opportunities for ages. And more importantly, he didn't shy away from going to this 3-2-5 system, and I was worried that he might do that because we saw against Aston Villa earlier in the season that we played really, really well with a slight tweak to the system that we have been playing, with Enzo Fernandez playing a bit deeper, and then the next game he just reverted back to the same old thing in the league, and then we started losing again. And I think that, yeah, I said I can't really ask any more of him. He set us up perfectly to win. We won very comfortably. We got a clean sheet, which is hard to come by nowadays. And yeah, and especially against his old team as well. There's always that kind of that fear that when managers play their old teams that they're not going to take it as seriously or kind of be a bit too nice in a way. But I think he set us up perfectly to win today, so I have to give him his flowers and put him in the good box. I saw someone, I should mention, yes, so I saw someone mention the Achampong obviously playing. I have been calling out for Josh Coffey Achampong to play for absolutely ages. I'm so glad he finally got a shout and actually got a chance to play today. And do you want to know something crazy? Yeah, I didn't think he was as tall as he actually is, which is funny. I've seen him play for the youth team, and obviously he looks tall in comparison to the players in the youth team. But I just thought he was like a big in comparison to the smaller guys in the youth team. But one thing which is crazy in the stat that's come out is that Achampong had the most blocks in the game. And he only played like 10 minutes, not even that. It's crazy. How do you get the most blocks in the game already? Which is good, and I said I hope that he does get more opportunities, because he has got such high potential, and with the fact that we have quite injury prone right backs, not so much Gusto but James especially, and with James being able to play multiple positions, maybe we would need that third right back to shore up the right back spot if we ever do go back to a back four. Obviously we're playing this 3-2-5 system at the moment, and it suits us really well. And I want to talk about two players, and I'm going to put them in the same point here. I want to talk about two players that make this system work so well, and I touched on this in my preview, but it's the combination of Marc Cucurella and Moises Caicedo in the centre. What an absolute resurgence that Marc Cucurella has had, especially. I've just seen this. I did set my alarm. I slept through it. I said that at the top of the episode. I set an alarm for 6 o'clock, but when 6:30 for when the lineups came out, and I just slept through my alarm. Yeah, I think Cucurella has had a complete revitalization of his career, especially in this new position, and I spoke about why that suits him in the preview for this game, and I'm glad, as I said, I'm very glad that Pochettino decided to give this a shot again. I hope it's not a case of him trying to use what we have whilst we don't have very many senior players, and if the senior players come back that he might revert back to his old tactics. Hopefully he won't do that. I think Pochettino is a smart enough coach to realize when something is working to stick to it, and yeah, I think that's the thing, not even in the inverted midfield role. I think out wide as well, he was just really solid from what I saw anyway. I went on Twitter at half time and I saw so many people saying how well he was playing. So many people saying that he's completely locking down that left side, and majority of the people kind of suggesting he could be man of the match. I saw a lot of people, when Chelsea have just put out their poll for man of the match on their Twitter account, loads of people in the comments are saying, where's Cucurella in the options? If genuinely, I've said this before, and this might be a bit controversial. I said I like backing my English players. As an Englishman myself, I like backing players that are English, but if you're giving me the choice between Cucurella and Chilwell, I'm choosing Cucurella every single time. I don't think that Chilwell is ever going to get back to the form that he had when we were flying with our two wing-backs. I think his injuries that he's had has really hampered his progression as a footballer in general. I don't think he's got the same snappiness and the same pace and the same attacking threat that he used to have, which was his main quality. Ben Chilwell was his attacking threat. I think Cucurella has a lot more to offer, and I think this is a silly way to base your thoughts on a player, but if Pep Guardiola wants a player, it's pretty obvious that player has got something about him, right? And we know that City were obviously in for Cucurella before we snapped him up from Brighton, and I think part of the reason why Pep wanted Cucurella was because he was planning on doing this inverted fullback thing that he has been doing this season. Obviously he's now doing it with John Stones or Akanji, which is a bit weird, but obviously before, when he had Zinchenko, he was doing that with the inverted centre mid, the inverted left back into centre mid thing. I think Cucurella was the player that was going to do that until we bought him, and now he's being actually played in that position, and he's just phenomenal. Likewise with Caicedo, I mean, what could I say about this guy that hasn't already been said? He's been genuinely one of the signings of the season, which is horrendously funny because everyone in the media seems to think that he's been a flop this season somehow. I think he's genuinely had an 8 or 7 out of 10 every single game he's played, bar maybe 1 or 2 games. And yeah, I think he just completely and utterly just dominated that midfield once again. We saw it against Villa, we saw it against Spurs here, is that... And even me, and the limited viewing that I got of just the second half, I was saying to myself, my God, he is everywhere. Every single time we got the ball back, it was him. Every single time. I'm speechless, because I was just like, how does he do it? And the thing which is crazy is the fact he does this, and he doesn't get a break, because we don't have the numbers, and we don't have the men on the bench to substitute him out and give him breaks, and he's just playing 90 minutes every single match day and still somehow looks like the fittest bloke on the pitch every single match. So yeah, I think these two had a really good game from what I can gather and from what I did get to see. That's why they go into the good box. Basically everything else is going in the good box too, so I am just going to quickly mention one thing in the bad box, and that's for the referees. Not for overall, but just because I saw the controversy with the VAR call at the start of the game when Chalobah scored. Why is it taking an extortionate amount of time for them to try and find something to rule our goal out? Can we stop doing this? There's been a lot of talk about VAR recent times and how poorly it's used, and obviously the Nottingham Forest game, which if you saw the audio they released or heard the audio that they released about that game, I think is absolutely farcical. But it genuinely feels that every single time we score as a team, we have to kind of hold our breath and just hope that it doesn't get disallowed. And that's the thing which I think is really bad about VAR, and I always say about VAR. When I say that, I'm referring to the group of individuals that control the actual technology, not the technology itself. I think the technology itself is decent. It could be updated to have more FPS. That would help with the offside decisions. But I think that the technology itself is good. But the people that run it are absolutely incompetent, corrupt, inept fools. And the fact that it takes this long to clear this as a goal is just ridiculous. But that's the only negative thing that I'm going to be saying in this box in this video today, because I think we have a lot to celebrate. And I am in a very, very good mood. I've had a very good day. The next player I'm going to talk about is for someone who's... Let's actually mention... I mentioned him just a second ago. It's going to be Trevor Chalobah. Not only does he get the first goal, which is obviously so important all the time. Whenever you get the first goal, it's important. But just because I think that he is our most consistent defender at the moment. And I'm very glad that he's had this resurgence, like Cucurella has in truth. This resurgence and this return to the side. Because Trevor Chalobah is one of the players that... I think I said this in my... It's been so long ago since I recorded that video, but I think I said this in my, like, rating players video that I uploaded, like, a couple of weeks ago, that he is so versatile and he's so good at playing so many different positions that I think he's a very valuable squad player. I just didn't think at that time that basically we had any intention of keeping him because he wasn't playing. Now that he's playing regularly and people can actually see how good he is and how good he has been this entire time, for some reason he's been completely overlooked. I think we're now getting the fruits of that labour, and obviously one of the things which I said in my preview is that if we didn't get, if we wanted to switch things up and not play Badiashile and Disasi, is that I think that playing Chalobah at centre-back and then Gilchrist in this kind of right centre-back, right-back spot would be a good idea. Lo and behold, Disasi gets injured, but literally as I put out my video, we get the news that he's injured, so that's great. And Chalobah has to step into that centre-back role, and he didn't look like he's missed a single day in that position. I think genuinely he's our, I would argue, other than Thiago Silva on his day, he is our best centre-back, genuinely. Likewise, I do want to give a quick mention to Badiashile. He's not going to be one of the players I put in the box, but Badiashile, I think, had a very comfortable game as well, from what I could see. I think this system in general suits him, as I kind of spoke about in my preview. And yeah, we'll have to see kind of how our centre-back situation kind of develops as we get a lot of the players back. Obviously, Levi Colwill being our main man, and I think he will be the person that takes the left centre-back spot. So whether we play Badiashile as the centre-back and then Chalobah as the right centre-back, I think that would be a good option. We'll have to see if the owners decide to sell Chalobah because they're idiots, because that's something that could definitely happen. Speaking of selling people like idiots, I should probably talk about Gallagher. I'm not going to put him in one of the boxes because I think he had a pretty standard game for him in that kind of pivoty role. I think again he's another player that just his energy kind of helps bring our entire team up, and I just want to give him a little bit of a mention. I will mention one midfielder though, and that's going to be Cole Palmer, because I think him alongside Madueke, I'm going to kind of put these two as a combination here. I think the right side in general of our team, from what I could see in the second half, was just really, really good, and these two were interchanging, not just staying either in the center or in the wing. They were swapping positions and making it really, really hard for their left back to deal with. And obviously Palmer is getting in here, gets a special mention because he gets the quote-unquote assist. He doesn't get an assist for it, but he gets the quote-unquote assist for Jackson's goal with a beautiful free kick, which if that nestled in, if Palmer scored that free kick, we would have just gone ballistic. And it's good to see Jackson actually following up on that and getting a goal against Tottenham again. But yeah, I think these two are probably just our best attacking threats. I do want to mention Mudryk because... Oh, is my mic bugging? What's going on? Sorry, I just saw that. What is going on? I think I'm getting encoder lag. 1 second. I'm getting an error on my stream. 1 second. What is going on here? Okay, I'm not sure if that's fixed anything. I'm getting an error from YouTube that's saying that it's not receiving enough video, which is really weird. I might have to end the stream and then restart. Because I said I'm not getting like encoder lag on OBS, which is weird. Just let me know if it's getting any better, because I can't tell, particularly. So I've got green on OBS, so I think YouTube's bugging. What is going on, YouTube? Alright, well, I'm gonna just try and continue, and if it stays bugging, then I'll just have to end the stream and restart it. Seems fine now? Okay, cool. Excellent. Wonderful. Where was I? Christ on the most. But yeah, I think that right side was very good, and as someone has mentioned in chat, I did want to mention this specifically. I think Madueke, his defensive responsibility that he kind of put in today, and his defensive shift was really, really good. Especially right at the end of the game, considering we're kind of like in a system where we need that width, and obviously because we have the right centre back, we don't always have the width out there to defend out wide. I think Madueke doing that defensive job reminds me of kind of like when Callum Hudson-Odoi was playing right wing back for us. I think that he can kind of do that job as almost like a right wing back in this system, though he is actually more offensive. I think he put in an absolute shift defensively today, which was good because obviously Gilchrist needed the cover, and I think that Gilchrist in general, and I'm actually going to put Gilchrist in here now. Gilchrist in general had a very, very good game and kind of locked down that right side, and I think part of that was because he had the support from Madueke. And I think my chat is so laggy because I've been talking for ages and people are still telling me to continue. Is it all good now? I think I've got the latency up high, maybe. There we go. That should be fine. But yeah, and I think Gilchrist had a really, really good game, and he kind of locked down Song Hyun-min. And if you're locking down a player of that quality, I think I have to put you in the box, especially considering I did mention in my preview, I said that I think that this right centre back kind of role would suit him a little bit more because he is a centre back by trade. He's never going to get up the pitch, and he didn't look very comfortable as a right back in our last time when we played him as a right back. I think he gets isolated a bit too much when he's out there on his own. So yeah, I think Gilchrist had a really good game along with Palmer and Madueke. These two, I think that these two have really come into their own. They're kind of finding a good kind of partnership, and obviously we've seen it from the under-21s that these two have played together. I think that these guys have got like a good connection. I think those two interchanging, as I said, between the kind of central role and the wide role really suits both of them because both of them are so comfortable in either position. And I think that Palmer is obviously really, really excellent off of the right wing, but obviously links things together when he is playing in the centre. I think Madueke is very dangerous out on the right wing too as a one-on-one attacker, but also can come inside and score goals like we saw before in the Villa game. And yeah, and I think just in general, I think Gilchrist had a very good game, as I mentioned. From what I saw, he was very good. He had to come off eventually because he was absolutely shattered because he put in an absolute shift, and it's good because I'm glad to see our youth products doing well. And obviously, he came off for Josh excuse me, easy for me to say, Josh Chempong, and yeah, well, hopefully we can see those two kind of getting some extended minutes. And now the final player. Wait, that's what I was saying. Thank you for reminding me. Sorry, I've said I wanted to mention Mudryk briefly because I saw that. Obviously Mudryk I don't think had the greatest second half because I don't think he really got involved. Obviously we played a lot more defensively in the second half, but I saw a lot of people saying that he was creating like the most amount of chances in the first half. And I saw that he was very, very, very good. Obviously, I don't have my own personal kind of viewing of that, so I'm not going to put him in one of the boxes. But I did want to mention that. Thanks, whoever just said that in the chat, because I would have completely gone over that. That's my ADHD completely forgetting what I was saying. The next player I'm going to be putting in, and a lot of you guys have now said it in chat, Nicholas Jackson. Obviously, scoring a goal. Anytime you score a goal, you get in this box for me. I think the goal that he scores is very well taken, and it's one of those goals which I love to see from our strikers, where they're not just flat-footed and they are on their bike and they are following in shots from the outside of the box. And yeah, I think that obviously he got his goal, and I think his link-up play in general was really, really good. And I've mentioned before, and I mentioned in my preview for this game, how he kind of drops deep and kind of links up the play. There was a lot of situations which I saw where he was that man that was driving us forward from the halfway line. That's kind of where he operates. Unfortunately, he didn't really get to kind of flex his actual muscles very much because a lot of the time the ball just kind of went out wide and we used from there. There's a civil war going on in my comment in my chat right now about Mudryk. So I put Jackson here because of the goal. Yeah. As I said, anytime you get a goal contribution, you have to be in there. And I think that, as I said, from what I saw, because I missed the first 45, I said this is just my personal opinion. From what I saw from Jackson, I think he was very, very good in terms of getting us up the pitch. And when we are playing so defensive in the second half, that is a very valuable thing to have. As I said, I feel like a lot of the time the ball kind of went out wide and kind of ignored him in that situation. But that's just my my personal viewing of it. Yeah, most crowded good box ever. Genuinely, it might be. I don't think is there anyone else. Hang on, I'm looking through my list of players. Is there anyone else that I can actually put in there? Oh, we got a cameo for Caicedo as well, which is really nice. We got to see more than just 6 minutes for Caicedo, and I think that he played in a really weird position because he came on for Mudryk. Obviously Mudryk getting substituted first, which was a lot of people I saw on Twitter were saying was a bit harsh considering how good he was in the first half. But Caicedo comes on in that kind of left wing role, and that was a bit weird. And obviously we're kind of using him as a target man. So yeah, I think for me that's pretty much all I can say. As I said, I missed the first half, so I can't really speak much more on the game. I'll have to talk it back. I'll have to watch the game back and then kind of give my opinion afterwards. But obviously I'm going to give you guys the poll for the True Blue. I don't really know. I think I can only put 4 options, so this is going to be interesting because I'm not really sure who I can actually put in here. I'm going to put in the players that I personally think kind of captured my kind of they captured my eye the most. And I'm going to say wait, can I add more than 4 options? No, I can only add 4 options. Okay, so guys, it's between Palmer and Madueke, and I don't know who to put in here. We always put Palmer, and Palmer always gets the True Blue, so I'm actually just going to not bother putting Palmer in. I'll put Madueke instead. The poll is now up, hopefully. There we go. So choose between those. We've got the triple C's and then Madueke. And we'll see how that goes. And whilst that's going on, I will take a sip of my drink and not blow out my throat like I did last time. Pause. That sounded really weird. Oh, I think it's actually quite even. It's quite even at the moment. Oh, okay, I think Cucurella is starting to take it. And this is, I did kind of want to talk about Cuckoo in this inverted role, because I did see some people in my comments from my last video saying that it's going to be interesting when Reece James is fit, because people expect him to be the inverted fullback. I have not just seen someone call him Cucurella and Iniesta. But yeah, but a lot of people are saying that James would be the inverted fullback. I generally don't think he would be. I feel like Cuckoo has kind of locked this position down now, and obviously we want Caicedo there. And I think James has got more potential going forward than being as a defensive player, which is crazy because he's such a good defensive right back. But I think his value would come through in the top end of the pitch of his quality of crossing and things like that. Especially if we buy a new striker. If we get like Osimhen or Gilchrist or someone like that, I think that James would be such an important player from the right wing. So I don't think he would be the player to convert into midfield. Whereas Cucurella, I don't think has that quality about him in the final third, and I think that he's more of a sacrificeable, is that a word? Sacrificeable player to put into the midfield instead if Enzo is not obviously playing. And that's one thing. I really hope that we get when Enzo comes back from his surgery and his hernia issues, that we actually get the full Enzo Fernandez that we saw at Benfica and at the World Cup. Yeah, I kind of think that's gonna happen as well. I think Reece will probably take that right centre back spot. And I feel like it would be one of those situations where when he goes high up the pitch, Caicedo would drop into that spot instead. Sacrificial, that's the word. Thank you. I don't know why that completely went out of my head. That's a word. I think we've kind of chosen the true blue here. I think the majority of people have kind of suggested who they want. So I'll end the poll, and we'll put Cucurella into the true blue spot. Let's make him a bit bigger here, because I think I do think from what I saw on Twitter and things like that, I do think that Cucurella probably deserves it from a lot of the opinions of the public, and people are very confused that he wasn't in the actual poll that they did. I saw someone ask me my thoughts on Gilchrist. I've done a breakdown on Gilchrist. One of my videos. Which video was it? It was the shock signing video that I did a few weeks ago. I kind of spoke about Gilchrist in that video. I think that he's a very, very good player and he's a scary prospect. The only thing which I kind of have the only kind of issue I have with him, he's not particularly a target man type striker, and he's very similar to Jackson in the way that he functions. Not obviously in terms of skill. I think Gilchrist is probably better than Jackson at the moment. Hard to compare considering they're both in different leagues, but I think that he would be a really good addition, especially if we do swap managers and get Amorim, because that is a possibility. If that happens, I do see us getting him instead of Osimhen. But I think that Osimhen is probably the striker we actually go for, because he's got more of that kind of, he's more of that centerpiece and that kind of what's the word? Just the target to hit in the center. I don't think that Gilchrist is that type of player. He's more of he likes getting on the ball and kind of dribbling with it. But yeah, I just seen that someone said you should copy the logo and put it into the thing. I understand that, but when I try and copy and paste things in this document, what happens? Because I'm using Microsoft Whiteboard, what happens is that it stretches the screen because it puts the image as its original size, and then I have to adjust the thing, and it makes all the thing go all glitchy, and it's weird. So I try to avoid doing that as much as possible. But yeah, thanks guys for hanging out as always. Pretty short stream today, as I said. I didn't watch the first half, so I can't really comment too much on what we saw. I'll leave you guys to all kind of celebrate. We've beaten Spurs again. We are in 8th place. We're so close to getting Europe now, and we just kind of got to wait and see what happens in the coming games. Obviously, we've got West Ham coming up next, who I do think that they are a very dangerous prospect for us, the way that they play. I think they could be a kind of bogey team for us. Actually, I do want to talk about that. Someone asked me, I think, and this is from a person that has been very, very vocally Poch out, if Poch continues to use this exact same system and we can get consistent games, a consistent run at the end of the season, and he proves that he can actually coach us to have a good setup and be good defensively, and obviously we're going to be bringing in a new set piece coach as well. If he can do that and he can get us up to 6th, I think he stays. I genuinely do think he stays, and I would not be too angry at that if he is going to consistently keep using this system. I said the only fear that I have is that he's going to revert to a different system and revert back to what he was doing once all the players are fit. But I think that if he does continue to play this way and we do get some consistent results from now until the end of the season, and he consistently plays this system and we see those attacking patterns and we see those defensive patterns, because that's something that's crazy. We're actually seeing defensive patterns now, which we weren't before. I do think he keeps his job. And I think that getting Europe obviously was basically the target. He was getting the target this season, and I think that if he does do that, I think the owners will kind of keep with him. It's just a bit of a hassle, kind of chopping and changing managers, and obviously there's not the greatest amount of managers out there at the moment. They're all kind of being snapped up by other clubs like Bayern and Liverpool and that type of thing. So I think we probably will keep him. As I said, I will not be too mad if he continues to play this way, but obviously I have been very vocally Poch out, and I will stand by that if he does continue to flip-flop and doesn't keep with the system. And I have not ghosted you. I did see your question. I was just in the middle of something. If everyone's fit, I can't really put my starting 11 if everyone's fit. I kind of did do that in the what was the video? It was the player ratings video that I did whilst I was on holiday. I did kind of put my starting 11 in that, so you can watch that and see. I think me kind of rattling them off here would take a lot of time, and I do want to kind of end things here. But yeah, hopefully with Poch, hopefully if he gets some signings that he wants during the summer, that's the summer window, maybe he can actually make this team into something formidable. Until then, though, I'm still skeptical, and I will be on the fence until then. But yeah, thank guys for hanging out as ever. Thanks for participating in the poll. We've concluded that Cucurella is the main man here. And yeah, I'll hit the outro and let you guys get to your celebrations and your evening. The rest of your evenings, really. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but yeah, I'll still be active on the community page and on Twitter as always, as I usually am. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video, which will probably be the preview for the West Ham game that might come out in a day or two. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.
But that was just my Feeling Blue match review for this week. Thank you ever so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this match in the comment section below, and if you'd be so kind, subscribe to the channel and leave the video a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss a video from me, or check out some of the other videos on the channel on screen right now. I've been Mono from MonoCFC, and remember, in the rain or in the dry, keep that blue flag flying high. Come on, you Blues!